coming up.
What do you do when you get lonely, when you feel lonely, like nobody love you, you don't love nobody, and nobody love you?
Clean my guns.
Clean your guns.
I'm joking. I got my Rottweilers, man. You know, dogs give me purpose. I love animals. I love all animals. There's just a sort of innocence with dogs. You know, there's an unconditional love that's there.
Do they give you a greater love than a human being can give you?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
What does a dog love feel like?
When's the last time a dog lied to you?
Oh, I see. So they don't lie to you.
When's the last time a dog stole from you? When's the last time a dog did anything to you other than be happy that you're home?
That's amazing. Welcome to the Fallen State. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. I have with me a very, very interesting man. I've had him on my radio show a couple of times. Brian Werner is with me. He's a former high priest of the Satanic Temple and vocalist of the death metal band Vital Remains. Thank you so much for coming in, man.
Pleasure, man.
You were the high priest of the Satanic Temple. What happened? Why did you step down?
You know, Satanism has very core fundamental principles that it follows of a very might is right philosophy of natural selection. And you know, history is written by the victors and dead men don't argue, if you will. I noticed the Satanic Temple, a lot of the followers were just bandwagon jumpers, jumping onto the next new thing. And a lot of them carried with them very leftist, social justice warrior tendencies that they were trying to push. And now they were codifying themselves as Satanists to be able to use the freedom of religion argument to push their own social justice agenda. As Satanists, we don't identify with right or left. We are ourselves. That kind of squabbling is beneath us, you know.
Right.
I don't want to see something that I love and respect as much like the tenets of Satanism being used to push a political agenda. And therefore I felt the need to disavow myself from the organization.
So, just from my understanding and the audience, do you believe there's no God, right?
I believe in energy.
But there is no God.
Do I believe there is an old man up there with a beard watching over everything you do that's going to send you to hell because you were masturbating at night in your bed in the privacy of your home? No.
Amazing. Are you 100% positive that there is no heaven or hell or God or Satan?
I'll give you the most honest answer of any human being. I don't know. I've never died before.
So you're not sure? That could be.
It could be, and there could not be. And I'll tell you what, if there is, and there is a judgment day where I have to go stand in front of the creator of the universe and be judged, I will give him ample time to explain himself before I judge him.
Amazing. And so your father was or is a born-again pastor, right?
My biological father.
Right,
I've never met him, no.
You've never met your biological father?
No.
You never met him? I thought you met him once.
I talked to him on the phone once. Physically, face-to-face, I've never met the man, so I couldn't tell you.
Really?
No.
And so why haven't you met him?
How do I say this without being too colorful? There's certain things that were done between him and my mother before I was born that, you know, he was a very violent drunk. And my mother removed me from that situation before I was born and didn't want me growing up in that. And I'm glad that she did. And she married a gentleman when I was 2 years old, before I can remember. And he's been there for me my entire life. That is my father. That is my dad. Sometimes family is much more than blood. You know, that man stood up and he took me under his wing and treated me as his own son. And he is my dad, and I am his son.
So your father and mother were married, your natural-born father? They made a baby together?
Yes.
And while she was pregnant with you, she said that he was a drunk and a violent person.
And then she went to she went back home to her grandfather's house, my grandfather's house, and my grandfather told him one time, "You ever show up here again, I'll shoot you in the head."
This is her father?
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
and do you believe your mother?
Absolutely.
Why?
Unconditionally.
Why do you believe her?
I mean, number one, she's my mother, and I don't think you should ever question your parents to begin with because they always have your best interest at heart. I've spoken with the gentleman, you know, and it reconfirmed everything she had told me about him. And not to mention, there was enough other people around at the time, grandfather, parents, aunts, uncles, that all reaffirmed everything that she had said. There was no reason to ever doubt her.
Do you love your father?
My stepfather.
Your real father? Your natural father?
No.
You do not love him?
No, he's a sperm donor, nothing more.
You resent him?
No, he's just insignificant. He doesn't even exist to me.
Really?
I had a dad growing up, and I still do have a dad.
What do you do about the desire that comes sometime that where you want to know your father better or wish that you had a relationship with him?
I had a relationship,
or that things were different with your natural father. What do you do with those feelings when they come?
I have a father. Just because he was the sperm donor doesn't make him my father. My father was the guy who married my mother when I was 2 years old, that raised me for the last 35 years, who taught me the difference between right and wrong. The man who took me to every hockey practice at 5 o'clock in the morning. The man who would throw, the ball with me in the yard. The man who helped me with my homework every night. The man who taught me to shave and drive a car. So that's my father.
But in reality, he is not your father.
Physically
right.
and biologically speaking, yes.
Right. Even more so than biologically speaking. Your real father is your real father. Everything else is an imitation and not the real deal. And that's why the foster or stepfather can never complete that void that's there, because they're not the real father. Only the real thing can do that.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
But I also have no desire to meet that gentleman either.
If you had a son and, you have any children?
Nope.
You don't have any children?
Nope.
What are you waiting for?
I don't know.
How old did you turn the other day?
37. 37.
Do you want to get married and have family?
I would love to, if I could find a woman that I can tolerate for 18 years.
That you can tolerate? What type of woman would you want or looking for?
I mean, that's as unique as the person you meet. You know what I mean? You can find somebody that's the complete opposite of you that you just find that you can't be without. And you can find somebody who you have every last thing in common with and you just want to choke them. Right. So it's as unique as the individual. You can't put a label on chemistry.
If you had a son and something went wrong with you and the mother before he was born, and even though you didn't like the mother, but you love your child, would you want your child to come to you and work it out?
Absolutely. I've actually been in that situation recently. I was dating a young woman, and she got pregnant right before I went on tour. And she decided, against all of my opposition and begging and pleading, to terminate the pregnancy while I was on tour in Germany. I was due to be home in about 7 days, and she couldn't even wait the 7 days, and that turned into just World War III. Yeah. I had even offered to her that, move in with me, I will pay all of your medical bills, I will pay everything, I will assume the role as a single dad. When the child is born, you can sign over whatever waivers or whatever you want. Just, I'm open to any option on the table that doesn't involve killing the child. And unfortunately that wasn't, she came back with this liberal mindset of, well, you don't have a choice in the matter. I'm like, well, I'd like to think that I do, because half of that child inside of you is mine.
Yes, that's right.
If I could carry it to term, I would, but I didn't, write the laws on biology.
Yeah.
So.
And just imagine how painful that was for you. Imagine what your natural father is missing and thinking about you. You feel the same way, even more so.
Yeah, he was too busy doing cocaine and fixing horse races and going to prison.
Do you? What would be wrong with going to him and forgiving him? And
well, he's no longer alive. So.
Oh, he's dead now?
Yeah, he's dead now.
Do you wish at all that you had worked it out a little bit before he expired?
No. Like I said, I had 2 or 3 conversations with him, as a matter of fact. And our last conversation ended with, I had just been coming out of jail for a misdemeanor marijuana possession, nothing major. And he made the statement to me of, well, you think you can come in and out of my life whenever you want? I'm like, dude, I'm 24 years old. I've never seen you before. I'm like, here, let me make this real easy for you. Click. That was the last time I ever spoke with him.
I'm sorry to hear that. Do you realize you're never going to have peace until you can forgive him?
No, well, how can you forgive somebody that just doesn't exist? That person's never existed to me. He's never been in my life.
But he does exist. He's just inside of you.
Yeah.
That's why you still have that longing for him, because you are him. He is you. You guys are one together. And
yeah, but I mean, would you say the same thing to a child that was born, that was conceived through a rape?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Even in a rape case, that father is still that child's father.
Well,
it's an unfortunate situation, but that connection to and desire for the father is still there, even if it was by way of rape.
Sure, but however do you want to, meet that father and then facilitate, some of the same, obvious problems that the father would have if he was a rapist? You don't want that, the sins of the father falling onto the child.
But until you forgive your father by realizing he can help himself, you will repeat it, the same thing. over and over. That's why.
No, and you're exactly right. I've
Yeah,
noticed it. It's one of the reasons I don't drink alcohol. You know, he was a very violent drunk. His brother, my uncle, was implicated in murdering his first wife, and then was actually convicted and sentenced of murdering his second wife.
Right.
His two sons were, you know, killed a couple people in a robbery. You know, again, all whiskey. That's one of the reasons I don't drink alcohol.
But you're still not going to be able to stop it until you forgive him, so that the spirit can change.
Yeah,
so
I'm a Satanist. I'm not big on forgiveness.
You're not big on forgiveness?
I'm not big on forgiveness.
So you're not going to forgive the woman that aborted your child?
Oh, no, I'll take that one with me to my grave.
Really? At one time, and it was wrong, if, you know, and I believe you, I don't hear her side of the story, but if you're telling the truth, it was wrong. But why hold on to bitterness? What good is that doing you?
Hold on to your hate. It'll help you stay focused.
On what?
You have to balance, man. You can't have, I love everything, I forgive everything. That's not a healthy way to live. And on the flip side of that coin, it's not okay to say, I hate this, and you want to kill everything. Neither one spectrum or the other is good to be. Yeah, you have to have balance between the two.
But if you want to be free and you want total control of your own life, not being influenced by that stuff, you have to forgive. It makes you stronger, you're able to do your thing.
Forgive the ones that deserve your forgiveness. You know, some woman that murdered, you know, what was supposed to be my child is definitely not, you know, should be a recipient of my forgiveness.
Amazing.
You know?
But she has issues too. That's why she did it. And,
well, sure.
You know, wouldn't you want to be forgiven if you had done something that you know is wrong?
If I was truly remorseful for it.
Right.
But I mean, if she's not even remorseful for it, why should I grant amnesty?
At one time, you did drugs, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did my share and your share and her share and his share. I did a lot.
And why?
The euphoric feeling of doing drugs. It wasn't for any sort of compensating, or it was, you try it, you're like, wow, that was really cool. I enjoyed that. But I quit doing hard street narcotics many years ago, in 1997. I still smoke marijuana every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Did you smoke some today?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're waiting for the ride to the airport. I got some edibles in the car.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, your lovely California marijuana laws here have taken care of me.
So you support those marijuana laws? You think?
I mean, as a Christian, man, I mean, you could agree that, you know, hey, God made weed, man made beer. Who do you trust?
But God made man.
Yeah,
that made the beer.
Yeah, well, you know, he made that plant just fine as is.
And so you say you started doing drugs because it gave you that feeling, that good feeling.
Yeah, I was an adrenaline junkie. I like roller coasters and jumping out of airplanes, anything for a rush, you know. So when I tried LSD and it sent me to another dimension, I was like, well, that was interesting. Let's do that again. You know, the drugs are only a problem when you are addicted to them and you rely on them and you need them and they control you, not you control it. You know, I rarely see anybody that's highly addicted to LSD like they are heroin or crack cocaine, or, you know, mushrooms or peyote or ayahuasca. These aren't street drugs that are robbing and stealing stores to be able to get your fix. You know, coke, crack, heroin, sure, we all know the detriments of those drugs. And as a Satanist, we believe in enhancing your life and using whatever tools, you know, bring you happiness.
Why is it that you don't have natural happiness or peace?
Oh, I do. I don't need drugs. Like
well, you said as a Satanist, that's why you do it, to bring happiness.
Well, for marijuana is a medical for me. You know, I have attention deficit disorder.
Oh, that's what they all say.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I have.
My back hurt. I need a little marijuana.
Yeah, no, I don't do it for pain. I do it for my mind. You know, when I was a kid, I had ADD severe cases. You know, and they had me on nortriptyline and Pamelor and Ritalin. And
wow.
I still had D's and F's in school. And when I started smoking weed, my grades went from D's and F's to A's and B's. I could sit in a chair for more than 20 minutes without fidgeting. I could stay focused and stay on task. And it was an all-natural remedy to me, that, as opposed to the horrific side effects of the pharmaceutical drugs they were prescribing me.
Do you know what it's like to not be high off anything?
Oh, yeah.
But just feel life and feel the pain and live your life?
For me, marijuana is kind of like you waking up in the morning having a cup of coffee. Now, if I go up to somebody that had never had a cup of coffee before, I give them coffee, they're going to be jacked up and jitter. But for guys like me and you that have our morning coffee every day, you drink your coffee and you just kind of feel, that's what marijuana is to me. I don't get high.
How many cups of marijuana do you have a day?
How much weed do I smoke? That's a tough question. Pretty much from the second I wake up to the second I go to bed.
What do you do when you get lonely, when you feel lonely, like nobody loves you, you don't love nobody, and nobody loves you?
Clean my guns.
Clean your guns.
I'm joking. I got my Rottweilers, man. You know, dogs give me purpose. I love animals. I love all animals. There's just a sort of innocence with dogs. You know, there's an unconditional love that's there.
Do they give you a greater love than a human being can give?
Oh,
you?
absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
What does a dog love feel like?
When's the last time a dog lied to you?
Oh, I see. So they don't lie to you.
When's the last time a dog stole from you? When's the last time a dog did anything to you other than be happy that you're home?
That's amazing. And do you sing about satanic stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think we have a song that's not about that.
Really?
Hammer down the nails, de-Christianize, icons of evil, shrapnel-embedded flesh, unleashed hell, devoured Elysium,
wow.
Savior to none, failure for all, I am God.
Do you come up with this yourself, or do you have a writer?
No. The band was around for about 20 years before I ever joined.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so a lot of the songs were pre-existing to me coming into the band.
Amazing.
So.
Do you have love?
Oh, of course, absolutely.
And you love others?
Absolutely.
Do you love yourself?
Absolutely.
And
probably too much.
In what way?
I put myself first above everything, just like every Satanist should. Self-preservation is the highest law. You know, only love those people that are deserving of. The Bible had the right idea, but it got it backwards. The Bible says, you know, treat others as you want others to treat you.
Right.
It's halfway there. Treat others as others treat you.
So they're nasty to you, you're nasty to them.
If someone treats you with dignity, love, kindness, and respect, and it may be somebody of a varying religious belief, then complete polar opposite, like yourself. You've done nothing but show me kindness and respect, and therefore I portray it back to you.
So you don't support abortion and same-sex marriage and none of that stuff, right?
Well, you know, here's the thing. Yeah, I do.
You do support it?
I support the right of the individual to make the choice that best suits their life.
Oh, I see. But you don't think, personally, you don't think it's the right thing to do?
For me, well, if you don't like gay marriage, don't have one. Nobody's got a gun to your head saying to go have, you know, gay marriage.
But you don't personally support, I mean,
I've been
you're not against it if someone else wants to do it, but personally, you're not for it.
No, I'm not homosexual, you know, so no, I would never have a gay marriage, but I have homosexual friends that are very close to me that I was actually supposed to officiate their wedding.
Oh, yeah?
I support gun rights for gay married couples. You know?
So what is a woman?
Estrogenical treachery. A big bag of lies, deceit, manipulation, deception, and seduction.
Amazing.
No, wow. I'm just joking. That's just, you know, the men are from Mars, women from Venus, you know, spectrum. I mean, to me, a woman isn't supposed to be, you know, this is going to come out all wrong too, and I know I'm going to get a ton of crap for this. I don't see men and women as equal. For the same reason, cats and dogs aren't equal. They're two different species. They can't even be compared on the same spectrum. I did not write the rules of biology to make you the giver of life. You know, so therefore, in my opinion, a woman, an adult woman's primary role, you know, if families her choice, is to be a mother. You know, the mother is, you know, to quote the Crow, the mother is the name of God on the lips of hearts of all children. You know, so it's not your job to be out there swinging a hammer, sitting in board. It's your job to be a mother and raise the children. Every child, what's one of the first words they always learn? Mommy. That's the one that keeps them safe, the one that the child is always going to go to first.
What went wrong? At one time we knew this in America, and women were okay with being a wife and a mother and being a woman, and the man was okay with being a husband, father, being a man. What went wrong to change that?
I have no idea, and I ask myself that question every day. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If a woman wants to have a job and a career, and she should have those opportunities. I'm not saying that shouldn't be anything equal, but you know, to quote Bill Burr, you know, well, why does a man get paid more money than to do the same job as a woman? I'll tell you why. In the event that there's some sort of house fire or some sort of ship that's sinking, for some screwed up reason, you get to leave with the kids, and I got to stay.
Yeah.
So I get $1 more an hour. It's a surcharge. Because I gotta like throw myself in front of something to give you the head start. You know, there's no feminist in a house fire.
Yeah.
They trade in their combat boots for a pair of pigtails, and they come running out going, I'm just a girl.